Astrology for the week ahead, November 3rd to the 9th. It's a big week. There are 3 planets changing signs. That's going to feel like things are shifting. But there's a lot of planets retrograde, including this week, Mercury joining the retrograde party. So at the end of the week, Mercury does his retrograde move in the sign of Sagittarius, but he's going to retrograde into Scorpio. What does that mean? We're going to dive into that when we get to Sunday, which is when he makes that transit. Also this week, we have a full moon happening in Taurus. Full moons are completion, culmination. We'll talk about that when we get to Wednesday, the 5th, for the full moon. All right, let's go through Monday through Sunday, see what kind of magic we can weave in here, what kind of goodness we can get into. If you're not getting ReWilding weekly, I send out a newsletter every Sunday that goes day by day, these transits along with some journal prompts and just some ideas on how to work with the energy. I love it personally. My team loves it. We refer to it 3 or 4 times a week just to go like, what's coming? Or, what's the best day to go on a date? Or I want to launch something. What would really support the launch of something? It's really helpful. You can sign up for that. It's totally free. Again, it comes out every Sunday just after this weekly episode comes out. All right, enough of that. Let's get into it. Monday, we start the week off with a bit of magic. I like this. It's supportive to moving from a higher place in self, from hearing intuition, from getting like deep inner wisdom guidance for our path forward. And this aspect is Mars, which is taking action, Trine, Neptune, the mystic. So you can really just even get real literal with it. And you can go, okay, if I'm Mars, right, I'm going to just sit here as Mars and I'm going to feel my warrior. What is it that I want to fight for? What is it that I want? Sometimes fight isn't the best word. We're like, I'm so tired. I don't want to fight. So you can feel what is it that I live for? What is it that I want to live for? What do I want to get behind? We can get some real good clarity here. Things around what is my purpose? What is my next move in life? What is the next most aligned, alive life? We can get some real good guidance here on Monday around this. But we want to have that aspect of self, our forward moving aspect, Mars, having a conversation with, getting guidance from the mystic. So you can almost do a little bit of a visualization of you as just self, and you take this kind of journey, this soul sojourn, and just imagine this, visualize this, and you kind of take this journey. Maybe you go up a mountain, you have to climb a mountain into the mystic's cave. Whatever would feel mystic for you. And you have to find the mystic, and you get to the mystic. It's the oracles of Delphi. That's kind of Neptunian energy in this moment. And you kind of get to these oracles of Delphi, and you're like, okay, give me direction forward. Give me the guidance. Give me the highest wisdom that you can. The greatest path forward for me to take. And you just write that down, and you grab all of that high voltage wisdom, because it's coming from a pretty powerful place. Neptune is at 29 degrees, obviously, as is Mars if they're in this trine. 29 degrees is a very karmic, dharmic, it's the anaretic degree. So it's even more aligned with your soul's path. Karmic, dharmic, what are you here to do? Pretty powerful on Monday. Love that we kick the week off with that. Then we move into Tuesday. This is the 4th. Now, Mars, that same aspect that we were talking about, it's a personal planet. So it's part of self that we really kind of identify with. We're really aware of this part of self. It's a pretty conscious part of self. It's really your doer. It's that which goes and does things out in the world. So Mars shifts into Sagittarius. So this we're going to feel, and you can attune to this. Now, this is Mars going into fire. Mars likes fire. Mars is a very fiery kind of an energy, a very passionate kind of an energy, a very go-do. And fire is a doing kind of a support to Mars. So Mars moving into Sagittarius, it's like this doer now kind of has some fire behind him, but also some expansion. So isn't that cool? Yesterday he spoke to the mystic. Now today he's got fire behind him and also in some expanded thinking. Expanded thinking. Interesting, this gets a little bit further. Mars, as Mars goes into Sagittarius, expanded thinking, Mars opposes Uranus, radical revolutionary. This is just good. For those of us who feel like we want to crack into something new, we want to crack through, we want to break through. This is really nice energy amidst all this retrograde. Can feel a little bit like Groundhog's Day deja vu. This is the stuff to lean into when you want to take steps forward. It's really lean into what does the mystic have to say? And then if you can think about a more expanded vision of it, and then if you can think about if you're breaking free, that's opposite Uranus. So that's Mars now in Sagittarius, opposite Uranus. You want to break free to make the dream a reality. Let me say that. Mars expanded thinking. You want to break free. Uranus, break free. Break out of the shackles, out of the ties that bind. You want to break free to make the dream a reality. This is Mars still in this trine to Neptune. Neptune's the dream. The mystic gave you the dream. Like he gave you the great vision. He gave you the great dream. But now on Tuesday, it's saying, okay, what's the expanded thinking you have to have? And then what do you have to break free of? This is the perfect setup before the full moon on Wednesday. So let's move on. Wednesday, the 5th, we have the full moon, which is ending, completion, right? So yesterday it was this, what do I have to break free from? Now Wednesday's full moon, what do I have to break free from that has come to completion? Its time is over. The time has run out on it. So this is a full moon in Taurus. Taurus is an earthy sign. Taurus is, I'm going to say stuff, but I'm also going to say, let's feel some Taurus stuff, just so you can get a feel for what is this culmination? What is this this completion? What can we feel into if we want to really lean into this break free to make the dream a reality? So it would be to contemplate, to maybe ritualize on this full moon or contemplate journal prompts, get together with your girlies, right? Have like a full moon party. All right, like what is coming to completion? Let's do this thing. And it would be like, I'm actually going to be together with the girls on the ReWilding team on Wednesday, and I'm literally thinking of us like sitting around a witchy fire under the full moon and having like confession. Here's a confession of what has come to completion that I haven't let go yet. Feel free to steal that one, right? Get together with your witchy girlies, right? Have a big old bonfire under that full moon and just go, all right, let's confess what has come to a completion that I am still dragging along. That's a really good one. That's very much Taurus energy. Taurus is the bull. Taurus can be very stubborn. Taurus is like, I don't want to let go. I really don't want to let go. This is safety, security. This feels comfortable to me. Taurus is about comforts. I want to, if I go on a trip, I want to pack my entire house in the car because I want the comforts with me. So Taurus, this is a full moon in Taurus. What are you carrying that you don't really need to be carrying, and now it's actually preventing you from breaking through to make that dream a reality, which is what we talked about on Tuesday. I like this lineup. So this is a full moon. It's happening at 13 degrees. So you can look in your chart, where is 13 degrees of Taurus? Also look, where is 13 degrees of Scorpio? So that's where the sun is at. The sun is opposite the moon at a full moon. And so this is a scorpionic energy. So yes, Taurus, we think, all right, Taurus, the bull, earthy, but it's a full moon and that sun is in Scorpio. It is a scorpionic energy still. So yes, we are still having this flavor of the deeper depths. like the deeper depths are here also. So when we think about what is it that's come to a completion that I've been carrying with me, Taurus, we want to think about deeper things in the unconscious that we're carrying with us. Maybe you've been carrying your ancestors with you and it's just really not serving anymore. Maybe you've been carrying my grandfather was in the army. Maybe you're carrying your grandfather's army belief systems that got passed down to the whole family, and you're carrying this like old school, he was a prisoner of war, right? So maybe you're just carrying these like prisoner of war army beliefs in your system that are actually the thing that's preventing you from breaking through, releasing the old karmic stuff and making the new dream a reality. That's the territory that we want to look at. That's the territory we really want to explore this full moon and be confessionary honest. You know, it's like, all right, it's confession time. And the ones that are like, I don't really want to admit this one, you know, they make you a little squirmy. You're like, oh man, I really don't want to speak it. If I speak it, I got to own it. You know, those are the ones. What is the old stuff you're still carrying with you? The old stuff that you like it because it makes you feel comfortable a little bit. It makes you feel, but the comfort is not the new. The comfort is the old, you know, that old saying, better the devil you know than the devil you don't know. What are the devils you're still dragging around? Because you have this, as humans, it's our root chakra. It likes same. It's the part of our bodies that has a hard time jumping into the new. So that's really a great thing to have this full moon in Taurus, because it will show us those more dense places, earthy, stubborn places, those more dense places that are really holding on and preventing us from making the dream a reality. And now it's not just Mars trine Neptune and then Mars into Sagittarius opposing Uranus, you know, the thing I talked about on Monday and Tuesday. That's not what's pointing to this new. This Saturn conjunct Neptune in Pisces, back in Pisces, trying to get into Aries, trying to get you into the new. Uranus moving signs. He's just retrograding back into Gemini. That's one of the planets that changes signs. We'll talk about that, I think, next, actually. Yes. Does that happen next? No, that happens on whatever. We'll get to that when we get to that. But just know that there is a bigger cycle, there are bigger cycles at play. And really what it's pointing to is each of us reimagining our lives, reimagining like that next chapter. I spoke about that a little bit, like this next chapter starting, like what is it that brings you joy? That's really what this is. What is it that really lights you up? What is it that really brings you joy? And it's the dream, your dream. Your dream will be different to my dream, but it's that dream, like please make this dream a reality. Please make this dream a reality. It is exactly what you came here to do, whatever that dream is. And that's what this kind of whole planetary configuration between 2025 and 2026 is. With all these planets moving into new signs, the outer planets, these big hitters, right? Saturn, Neptune, Uranus, Pluto moved already. They're just like smashing us. This Chiron conjunct Aries for a long time. Sedna conjunct Uranus, like at 1 degree, the 0 degrees, they're all moving in this 0 point. And what they're trying to do is they're trying to get us all to 0 point, like a 0 point, and it's you making the next dream a reality. But there's no room if we don't let go of the old. So that full moon in Taurus, really good for seeing, illumination. Full moon illuminates things, seeing what it is that we're not letting go of. I also like that this full moon, this is really the only aspect that this full moon is making, trine, sextile, because, you know, the sun and moon are opposing each other. So there's trine and sextile to Isis, the goddess Isis, Goddess Isis, the Egyptian mysteries, like an entire mystery school. So we have like this entire mystery school in a good, beautiful aspect, this entire mystery school, this entire lineage of mysteries, Isis mysteries, entire lineage of mysteries, like supporting this move into living from the next soulful level. You know, Isis is about the rebirth. She brought her husband back to life. So it's like the birth of self. We just ran our ReWilding circle on the 1st, and there was a lot of the rebirth of self. A lot of the shares in the journey that we took was this renewal, this rebirth of self, this cyclical nature, this renewal, this constant rebirth of self. So you can kind of feel into that magic if you have ways of working with Isis, if you're into the archetypes or you're doing archetype IX with us. Like Isis would be a really beautiful archetype to meditate with, to do ritual with, to do ceremony with, to journey with under this full moon on Wednesday. All right, Thursday the 6th, here we go. The sun is in a 2.5 to Neptune. This is really like a mystics week. Really is. You know, we started off the week talking about Neptune. Now we're going back into some more Neptunian energy, the mystic. It's like the week of the mystic. So the sun 2.5 to Neptune. Just before that, the moon was in a 1/2 square to Neptune. So now this is Neptune, like more dissolving old reality structures. Neptune bringing in more mystic mind. Like he really opens up the mind to, you kind of like mystic, sometimes like to call Neptune like mystic madness. You know, it's like the cloud of unknowing descends and you're just in this fog of like, what is real? The shadow side is delusion, illusion, ungroundedness. That's kind of the shadow. Also want to say that Neptune, high side of Neptune is higher heart. It's higher heart. It's a different frequency of love than our human conditional love. The if then kind of love. If you do this, then I will love you. I will withhold love until you are a good guy, good girl, whatever. This is a higher level love. So that comes in on Thursday, right after that full moon. This we could very much work with. I love how Neptune kind of awakens us, how he shifts us into the next level frequency, right? It's like a spiritual awakening by Neptune is more of a, let me dissolve who you thought you were. Let me dissolve, here you go. Let me dissolve all those old things you saw under the full moon yesterday when you were having that witchy bonfire with the girlies, right? All those things, give it to me. Like give, because now the sun and the moon, that's part of them, was the full moon, right? Now they just go right to Neptune. And they go right to Neptune. And it's like, here you go, Neptune, dissolve that old army pattern, prisoner of war pattern thing that was in my system that I saw under the full moon. We're just giving you random examples of things, but you just give it to Neptune and Neptune just dissolves it. I will dissolve old identity structures. I will dissolve your ego. I will dissolve who you thought you were. It's a very powerful, can be a very trippy kind of an awakening with Neptune. So if you are working with archetypes or you again are in archetype IX with us, Neptune, good one to work with on Thursday. Or just if you're not an archetype IX or you're like, Sabrina, I have no idea how to work with Neptune, just do the exact things that I'm saying. Get the ReWilding weekly. There will be some journal prompts in there. There's sometimes practices in there, right? And just maybe listen to this part again to just kind of get the energetic vibration of Neptune and then go into your own meditation on that. Go into your own journaling on that. Okay, so that's the Neptune stuff that's going on Thursday. But here's the next planetary shift. So we already had Mars move into Sagittarius on Tuesday. So this is Thursday, Venus moves into Scorpio. Dun, dun, dun. I am done negotiating. I am done people pleasing. I am done keeping the peace, right? That was her in Libra, right? Libra, I want to keep harmony. I want to keep the peace. So I'm going to let a lot of things slide. Yeah. Now Venus moving into Scorpio. done letting it slide. I'm actually going to look at the deeper things that are going on now, and I might just call them out. That's Venus in Scorpio. So Venus is another personal planet. So where Mars is a personal planet of like doing, let's take some action. Venus is like state of being. Venus is your state of being. So now your state of being, instead of, water off a duck's back, I'm more dedicated to peace and harmony. Instead of our state of being in that space, our state of being is, I am looking at deeper places now. I am not negotiating now. I am going to call it out now. That's the state of being. State of being, deeper depths. Could be state of being going into the unconscious. This could be a good time to start looking at dreams, like dream journaling. Could be a really good time to honor the go within state. If our state of being, it's a deeper place, the deeper. I want to go into like more of the deeper places in myself. I want to explore a little bit, like what's in the inner basement of myself. That's where I want to be. My being is in there. So interesting, right? So this just adds some fuel to Scorpio season. The sun is still in Scorpio, right? This adds some fuel. Mercury is going to retrograde back into Scorpio next week. So it adds some more juice to this Scorpion deeper depths energy. All right, let's move on to Friday. Here we go, more deeper depths energy. You ready? So not only has Venus just moved in, I really need some water. We'll be all right. So not only has Venus just moved into Scorpio to go deeper depths, on Friday, Venus squares Pluto. Pluto is the lord of the deeper depths. So if we were to go, what is the deepest archetypal energy in astrology for the masculine? We would say Pluto or Hades. So the deepest masculine archetypal energy in astrology in a square to Venus, who just moved into Scorpio. It's a little bit like Pluto giving her a lot of power. You can think about the Pluto-Persephone myth. So Persephone, right? When she moves into the underworld, that's part of the myth. Some people say she gets abducted, whatever. But she gets initiated into the underworld. But then she gets crowned. She gets given her power. Your power is in the depths. Your power is here. So now suddenly it's not, depths are bad. Depths are shadow and all the, negative connotations that the depths gets. Now it's like, this is where your power is. This is where your power is. This is empowerment. This is now suddenly the 80% of self that you are completely unconscious of, and you have zero capacity to bring power in from that place. Suddenly you're plugged into a power outlet, and you have you have all of this power that's accessible to you now. It's a lot more life force. It's more power to manifest, to create, to wield your consciousness, to have Mars be doing something. There's more power behind you as you become more of a force. You're becoming more of a force. So sometimes what this can also lead to is, where is it that you're disempowering yourself still? Where is it that you have disempowering patterns in the family line? What is disempowering you? What is it that you're still choosing in your life that's disempowering to you? What is it that you're still thought patterns? You want to think about thought patterns. You want to think about, what is it that you're constantly saying to yourself? Where's self-love at? This is a self-love lineup. Pluto is all about self-love. Venus, love, state of being, love. What is my relationship to myself? How much do I love myself? How much do I judge myself? And a lot of times that's part of where we're sabotaging ourselves, where we're disempowering ourselves. It's really our own self-talk. It's really our own actions toward ourselves. It's really our own lack of supporting our highest path forward. Interesting, right? Interesting. So that's Friday. Now Uranus retrogrades into Taurus also on Friday. Yeah. What does this mean? This we might not feel all that much because it's not a personal planet. Uranus is a pretty hard energy to like embody. Uranus is the great awakener, right? We talked about him before. He wants to break through into the new. But he's going back into Taurus. This is where it kind of adds to this deja vu, Groundhog Day. Like, okay, now we're back here. Didn't we just break through into Gemini? And Uranus energy can move a lot faster in Gemini. Uranus is like lightning bolt. And a lightning bolt can move a lot faster in an air sign, Gemini, than it can move in an earth sign, Taurus, right? So Taurus will just ground the electricity. So we might feel like, ooh, a lot of this like new moves forward. Like I'm going for it. Like I'm breaking through. I'm the rebel in me. I've got this. That can feel like, oh, the wind has gone out of our sails. Oh, where's all that? Where's the new gone? We might feel like that, but just know that it's part of a bigger cycle. He's going back there to support what happened on that full moon in Taurus. So what I spoke about in that full moon in Taurus is, here's what you're still earthly, right? Like deeply in a Taurian, stubborn kind of a way. I'm holding on to this. This makes me feel safe, or this makes me feel comfortable. So I'm going to hold on to the old. But now he's going back there to, again, help us to release more. That's a big part of what these next couple of months are about, with everything being retrograde. It's really like looking back, okay, what have we not cleaned up yet? What have I not let go of in the old so that I can break through and make the new dream a reality for myself? All right, so that's Friday. Now on Saturday, I want to bring this aspect up. On Saturday, it's a grand trine going on. Grand trine, that's magic. It's a good flow of energy that's happening. And it's a grand trine with Jupiter. Jupiter, expansive, amplifies the energy. Benevolent, grace-filled, like a grace bomb. So we have Jupiter grace bomb to Saturn, Father Time, Lord of Karma, right? Now this doesn't perfect though. We don't have to get into that. It doesn't perfecto, but it's like, I'm about to get into it. I just said we don't have to get into that, but I'm about to. It's like a little bit of a, okay, let's just get this ball rolling, but we're going to complete this later on. And that's kind of how it is, because they will perfect in this trine. They will perfect. I don't think it's for a few months. I don't think it happens until 2026, actually. Yeah. So it's like this. Okay, here's a little bit of Jupiter expansive, Jupiter grace bomb, Saturn reality, structures, foundations. Like Jupiter grace bomb, let's expand into new structures, new reality. Let's expand. But he doesn't get there. Like this is where it's like this push-pull, this, yes, we're moving there, but yes, we still have work to do so that we can actually break through and make the dream a reality for your next chapter of life, right? So that's there. But then Black Moon Lilith, conglomerate of the dark goddesses, demands embodiment. She's like, stop fluffing around just in the mind. I want this to happen in the belly. So kind of what she's saying here is like, I want structures to be brought into the new, but I want them like to come from deep in the guts. I need your bones, like literally the physicality of your bones. I need them to reorganize. I don't want a half-baked move into the new. And there's a lot of feminine supports in this. So this is a much bigger cycle, Sedna conjunct Uranus. It's not going to be a half-baked transformation. Like I want it in the bones. We need full transformation. That's what a lot of these Eris conjunct Chiron, that's what a lot of these feminine archetypal energies are demanding, is that it is a fully embodied shift into this new reality. Like, I need this to happen in the guts. I need this to happen in your microbiome. I need this to happen in the marrow of your bones, in your blood, in your cells. I need this to happen in your DNA. That's how physical I need it. I need it in form. I need all of it has to be making the shift. This is partially why some of us are feeling so many physical symptoms lately, because there's things changing and we know that we're moving, but it's being asked to be on the deepest, most embodied levels. And this is what this aspect here is pointing to. Okay, let's move on to Sunday, the final day of the week. We have Mercury going retrograde. Let me give you a couple tips about Mercury going retrograde. So on the 9th, he will officially station retrograde at 11:01 a.m. at 6 degrees and 52 minutes of Sagittarius. Okay. This is his official retrograde. But here's something you could do. Look back at what's been going on between October 21st to this November 9th date. What's been going on? Because that was his pre-shadow phase, right? So the pre-retrograde shadow, right? It already started setting things up. It's already starting to point to what you're about to go back over. So you can think about what kind of illuminated in my life. What were the big events that went on? What were the things I was contemplating? Mercury, the mind, contemplating. What were the things I was ruminating on? What was it that was just like coming to mind? What were you journaling about? What were you talking to friends about? What was it that was top of mind? Really powerful. Because then if we make this whole list of things, we can then be a little bit more conscious already at the start of what is coming or what might come. It's not to say that all of those things are going to come, right? You might have completed some of them in the pre-shadow retrograde. Like if you were really diving in and going for it, some of those things, you might have already done it. So you don't have to deal with Trickster Mercury. Once Mercury goes retrograde, now he's the trickster. He's like, oh, you ain't getting it? Now I'm going to mess with the computer stuff. Now I'm going to mess with your travel plans. Now I'm going to mess with your communications. Still not getting it? You want to keep the blinders on? You want to just keep anesthetized? You want to keep pretending that none of this is going on? All right, that's cool. I am going to mess with your life. That's Mercury in retrograde. He's a trickster, and he literally can move physical things in ways that he normally can't. Isn't it stunning? It's stunning. He's the psychopomp, though. He's just trying to align us with our highest path forward. And he's just trying to also point out the things that we've been neglecting or not looking at or not really wanting to see. And he's like, I'll make it blow up. Like if you haven't willingly been wanting to go into that territory, I'll make it blow up so that you have to go into that territory. That's Mercury. He's the psychopomp. Guide to the soul, messenger of the gods. He can give you messages from any archetype, any realm. So he'll give you messages from Sagittarius. Here, let's start you off. Expanded state. Here's where you're headed to. But now I want to take you into the deepest depths of the underworld in Scorpio and show you why you can't get to the dream. I want to show you why you're not getting to the dream. Why you're not manifesting exactly what it is that you want. Why you're not living this beautiful, joyful, abundant, love-filled life that gives you full meaning and purpose. I'm going to show you why. So Mercury's beautiful. It's such a gift. It's such a gift. So he will end his retrograde on November 29th. So you might just want to write these dates down. Ends retrograde on November 29th and then comes out of the post-retrograde shadow on December 17th, right? So there was the pre-shadow, the setup phase. Then there's the retrograde, and then he'll go direct, but he's still going over all that territory for the final time. My sense, this is going to be a big one, partially because all of the aspects that he's making. We'll talk about this weekly. If you're not subscribed, subscribe, hit the notification bell, then you don't miss any of these weekly videos. It also just helps us. Like, it really helps the algorithm. I don't know why that dang thing loves that for the algorithm, but it super helps us too. So if this served in some way and you want to kind of give back, hit the subscribe button, hit the notification button, leave me a note in the comments. What was your favorite part? What do you love about these things? Or even, what do you want more of? What do you want less of? Sabrina, I like the short version. Last week's was an hour long. This week's was 30 minutes. Tell me, what do you like more? I like the down and dirty. Just give me like the big heavy hitters in, what are we at? Okay, 35 minutes. Do that. Or no, I like the deeper dive. Or, hey, I like it all. Like, mix it up. Mix it, like, give me all of it. I'd love to hear from you all. Really and truly, I read all of your comments. The team reads all of your comments. I miss some of them if they're left like days and days and days and days and days later after a video comes out, because I just can't keep up with everything these days. But I do, and my team does, and we're so freaking grateful. And this is such a co-creation. I'm just honored to be here with you all. One little tiny last gift. If you are still hanging out with us, if you're still here, there's a little free gift. We just put out a new Human Masterclass. I thought I was going to be talking about new human and new earth and all of those things, but it ended up being this very interesting activation. It's like 45 minutes of really just activation. Like, it's a transmission, it's an activation, it's energetic practice. So if you want to try something rewilding, you're like, I don't know what you're talking about, you crazy witch. That might be something to just dip a toe in. Go give it a try. It's totally free. You just got to put your email in so we can send you access to this masterclass. So that's our little gift. Just really honored to be here with you all. I'm grateful we get to have these conversations in the way that we do. All right. Live more, love more. I will see you when I see you, where I see you, and how I see you. Mwah.